Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sevtech Ages. Today we'll be racing our way through Age 1. In my infinite wisdom, I forgot to start today by making the faucet, table, and basin we needed to actually get on with things, so I first make a real crafting table and some normal chests. Next, we head off to find one of our two naturally occurring ores, copper. Now, there's a little trick to finding these ore veins 100% of the time. Simply turn on chunk borders once you find a chunk with samples and head to the center. Then just dig a spiral staircase around the center of the chunk and you'll always find the ore. Oh, and copper comes in two forms in this mod pack, malachite and azurite. Both yield the same ore and neither is better. The same thing happens with tin, which we obviously need as well, and it can be called cassiterite or tealite. There we go. Wow, that was all one take. Finally, we round off our ores with some coal. Yeah, nothing is special, just coal. I actually return here a few times to get more coal, so I highly recommend just making an ass load of low-grade charcoal instead, since it's effectively 4 times the value of one coal ore. As we return home, I finally remember that we don't have the necessary equipment to do the whole smelting process. Luckily, I don't have to gather anything. Unluckily, I have to sit here for the next few minutes cranking until I get the 17 porcelain I need. After lobotomizing myself so I wouldn't feel the time slipping away, we make a faucet with 3 of the unfired porcelain and just throw the rest into the grill to cook. Everything fires, I craft my basin and table, then assemble the melter to finally be done with early tinkers. His name shall be Smelvin Jr. While some ore I put in there smelts down, I also snag us a Necronomicon. Next, I want an alloy kiln, which means I gotta make some kiln bricks. Simple enough task. Cook clay, craft sandstone, and place everything, then remember we need the engineer's hammer to finish it, which gave me enough serotonin to get me through this first session. Engineer's hammer needs copper, so I kinda just sat my ass in front of my smelter until I was able to pour a block. But wait, I'm not done remembering yet. We need a stone anvil. This little man, little dude, little guy lets us beat the living shit out of metal blocks to get ingots and beat ingots into plates. Plates are used in tools, which I don't care about. I can live with stone tools till I have Tinker's Construct. Ingots, on the other hand, are used to make bronze in the alloy kiln, so let's get some of that cooking. Now, the alloy kiln takes a bit to do its thing, so while we wait on that, we're gonna want to head back to a swamp I've marked off so we can get corallium pearls. I don't want to spoil what they're used for, but you can take a wild guess from the thumbnail. Before we head out, though, I want to make a functional Abyssalcraft statue, and whoa, Minecraft, you can't say that! And, as tradition, when we have an adventuring part, make sure to subscribe if you've enjoyed the video so far. Also, make sure to drop a like and a comment, as it helps my video in the algorithm. Finally, make sure to turn on notifications if you want to keep up to date with my content, as I upload a new video every week. Back to the task at hand. I want to be careful in the swamp, as there's an unfun ritual circle that spawns cloaked gremlins from the Betweenlands. Speaking of, we'll be revisiting this area next stage to craft a tool at that ritual circle. Regardless, I want to be careful here because apparently Shoggoth lairs just spawn wherever they please, so since this swamp is on sea level, I have to make sure I don't step on an eldritch landmine. Good news is there's a ravine nearby. Bad news is that it has 2 Shoggoth lairs, so I have to go the long way around. Best news is that this ravine is fucking loaded with corallium ore. So now, with our corallium, we're going to pop back to our house. Don't worry, I fetched my horse from the Meneglin biome. And cook some cobble to make stone. While that's cooking, I snag us a blood altar, which we'll use in a second. After the stone cooks, we take the pearls and combine them in a 3x3 to make a cluster of 9, which we combine with the stone to make corallium-infused stone. Cook the special stone, get the real pearl, good ending. This first pearl will serve to make us a pedestal for a side achievement, and we'll save the second one. Next, feed Smelvin Jr. some protein by loading him up with rotten flesh, which he rewards us with blood for the blood god. Pour the blood out, get the congealed blood, and now it's finally time to contemplate the blorb. Well, actually, first we need to fill the altar with blood, so we can do that. And now we contemplate the blorb. After our contemplation is done, we need to start making blank slates with the extra smooth stone we cooked up. This is going to allow us to make some blank runes later, but while we wait, I go and set up for Abyssalcraft rituals by making a ritual circle. I also place our energy pedestal along with our non-racist statue facing it. This charges our pedestal and our Necronomicon for rituals, and it takes a while to charge, so that's why I got this done now. As we wait for this to charge, I accidentally self-unalive a few times while providing blood for the blood gods. But we do get the rest of the blank slates, so it kinda did be worth it. Now we just craft some blank rooms and just surround our blood altar with them. This is the last step before we contemplate the real blorb. Finally, we have the last piece to this half of the puzzle. Remember how I tamed a second horse earlier? Well, I did that because we needed a press, so I make one, make an area for it, get our horse in it, and press some coal for coal blocks. These are needed for the portal frame, which we need so we can access the last half of this age. Speaking of, we're gonna craft that right now and throw it into our ritual pedestal with some other materials I gathered. Now we take our Necronomicon that's been charging and shift right click the center. Oh, and you might want to back up when you do this. It hurts a lot when the lightning strikes. Now we have access to the deep dark though. Our first dimension, and one that holds our next key items to progress. As we head into here, make sure to bring lots and lots of torches, since you will run out trying to find the resources. Our spawn area is pretty decent, all things considered, as just below us there's a bunch of black quartz, which is one of the 2 necessary resources. I gather a bunch of it before I start looking around for aquamarine, which took a while to find since I needed to head back for some more torches. Oh, and pro tip, like I said earlier, low-grade charcoal has 4 times the output than coal. So you can make torches a lot cheaper and faster, as long as you have a horsepower grindstone. After we skip the lengthy resource gathering, we gather extra materials to make some shafts, which we can use to make a water wheel and gearbox. We also make a cauldron so we can make glue for gears. Next up on the chopping block is to make a saw so we can get mulberry bark. Pretty simple thing to make, so we crank it out and start setting up an area. Finally, we have reached the last items of this age. I make one last block, the turntable, so we can get some buckets for water. Then, I chop down those mulberry trees we had and saw them down for their bark. Throw the bark in the mixing basin with some water and voila, wet mulberry bark. Dry it, combine it, and throw it in the press to make washi. Take the washi to our crafting table and combine with 1 aquamarine to make 1 parchment. And finally, parchment with plant cloth and 3 aquamarine to make our astral sorcery book. And of course, marble, aquamarine, reinforced slate, and 1 crafting table in our ritual circle to make our luminous crafting table. Could you guess I broke my promise? Yep, I was rushing again to get this video done. At least this time I was able to add some Sunday funnies. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm live on Twitch a few hours after this upload, so make sure to check me out there. Of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you made it this far, and turn on notifications. We're aiming for 100K by the end of next year. And as always, I will see all you guys next time.